Hi everyone, today I'm going to demonstrate how to do an art piece. For this specific one I'm going to do a bonsai tree. That's something I'm used to doing, so I know exactly what I'm doing here. What you're going to need is a sketch pad, some multicolored gel pens, and a picture for your frame of reference. I'm not going to do this one exactly, but I'm going to do something around there. So I'm going to describe in detail each stage of what I'm doing, kind of like Bob Ross. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. All right, now let me introduce all my witnesses here. First of all, I got my grandfather, Vic, his girlfriend, Beth, Antoinette, my mother, Lisa, Aunt Vicky, Uncle Warren, my brother, Michael, and my father, Mike. All right, now first, to understand what I'm doing, you gotta understand what the bonsai tree is from. The word itself comes from Japan, but the art style was from the Chinese Empire around 700 AD. So they gradually would twist a saplet until it got to the form of like this miniaturized twisted tree. So I'm going to do that with gel pens on a piece of paper. Alright, to start this piece we're going to begin with the outline of the trunk. Now we're definitely going to need to accentuate the curves here. I'm using calligraphic lines, which means I'm going to be gradually making one line, all of it being texturized. So once you do that, you're going to need to put in the branches. And all of these are like kind of just trying to be natural here. They don't go straight out. They're going to branch out, hence the name. Alright, so once you get the base of the branches done, I'm going to begin with the roots. And those are going to go out gradually. I'm going to make a hill once I'm finished with that. Alright, so now we're going to start using the shading on the sides. Once I'm finished with this, I'm going to put some ochre brown in order to get the general color of the trunk. So actually I'm going to be using red and green because that's the colors on the color wheel that make brown. So I'm getting it all over the branches in order to reach every single part to get the color down. Now what I'm doing is I'm adding the curves in to make it look more realistic instead of just filling in the color. Plus the bonsai tree is in a twisted form, so I definitely want to get that texture in. Alright, this is a very multicolored tree. Once I'm finished though, it should have a neutral color. If not, it's just going to be nice for the appeal to the eye, kind of like a rainbow-ish. Alright, now that I've finished the base, I'm going to continue with the shading. So the reason the shading's coming from the left side is because the assumed light source is coming from over here on the right. So I'm going to use that for the entire piece. So if I have a few stones here, they're all going to have that similar shading coming from that edge. I'm going to do that with the roots as well. And the tree is going to be over here in the background. Alright. Now that I'm done with that, I'll touch up on that later. I'm going to start on the actual leaves. So for this, the way I'm going to begin with it, I'm just going to make some squiggly lines. I can add the detail once I'm finished with that. I'm just want to give it the basic outline of all these leaves here. So the way I do that, obviously you're going to make that leaf shape. And I don't have to do it on the entire thing. I don't really have that kind of time. This is a 5-minute video after all. So I'm just going to want to get the basic overview of that so you get the idea of what you're doing. So the way you do the leaves, obviously you get the line down the middle, then you're going to get those roots that go through them. So I'm just going to keep going with this squiggly action since, like I said, I don't have that kind of time. If I wanted to get that in detail, I could. So in order to fill all this empty space, I'm going to add some apples. Despite apples not actually going on a bonsai tree, I feel this is a more visual appeal. Now I'm going to add a little yellow to the sides, coming from that light source. and some lime green so it gets a little more in depth with just 2 colors. You can add a few more, have a little fun with it. Get the grass going. The grass is pretty simplistic. All you gotta do is just make some lines going in different directions. If they were all straight up, it wouldn't look realistic. And that's the whole point here. Once again, I'm going to put some lime green on this surface, on this side where the light's emanating from. Maybe a little yellow. Then put some black on this side, especially when it's under the tree. I'm going to define those shadows and define the edges here so that it's not so scattered. Alright, so that should be the basic overview of it right there. Once again, I could go into more detail when it comes to that. So the last finishing touch is to add your signature in order to recognize your hard work. And it's not my best signature, but I'll go with it. So at this point, we should be done with our bonsai tree, and I hope I've given you a relatively concise explanation of what to do here. And if you have any more questions, just let me know, and I hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks.